Want us to see you with your long hair from being retired yet?
Nope, there's no long hair.
There's Santa Claus
look
down
much-
there. Perkins retirement. Man, you guys are killing me.
All right, so we call to order. We need a motion for that, Lindsay?
Sorry, what was that?
Do we need to do a motion to call to order?
You just call to order and then start on the next agenda item.
All right. Does anybody have any deletions or additions to the agenda?
Nope.
All right. Next, we talk about a new committee member. I think we're talking about Eric Clifford. We have a discussion about that.
Yep, I spoke to him pretty much. I don't know if he needs to be nominated or whatever, but I'll nominate him if it needs to be done. Good person. Good for the committee.
Yeah, he's been on for a while too. Y'all second the motion?
All in favor? Aye.
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 All right. Next is new chair selection and vote. I guess being that Dave and I were co-chair, Dave left. So I guess we need to vote on a new chair. Any discussion on that?
You're smiling. You don't want it?
Not really, but I'll do it if I have to. Kind of where we're at, I think.
I mean, if Mark wants to do it, that's by all means. Sure.
I don't want to do it.
I can do it.
Do you want to do it, Dustin?
Yeah, I can do it.
I nominate Dustin as a Canine chair.
I didn't hear what you said, but I'll make a motion for Dustin to be the new chair.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye. All right, Rich, this looks like the next agenda item here is school schedule for 2025.
Yeah, we're looking, I believe it was posted yesterday, today, start patrol school March 31st. That'll end July 18th. I guess some of this is tentative. Detection school, September 8th to October 31st. So 16 weeks and 8 weeks.
Cool.
Gonna be totally up to Chris over here, VPA, so. Those are the tentative dates.
I am so out of the loop right at the moment that whatever you say, I probably agree to.
Like Scott's getting himself on video.
Yeah, there we go. But I don't know why my camera is so bad. There we go. That's better. There we go.
Next agenda item is scheduling. Who's got that?
So that was me as well. So I've been experimenting with trying to create a live calendar for so everybody can see, and then we can start plugging some dates into it. I think I have the bugs worked out. Just waiting for everything to go through contract wise and everything at the academy, and then I'll push that out to all the handlers. So we got a couple of handlers on it right now. It seems to be working.
Changes to be implemented from assessment. What do we got there?
So going through the assessment, I don't know if anybody's reread it recently, and again, it's kind of old at this point. I agree with almost everything, Chris. Going to be up to you what we implement, but I've highlighted a lot of things that I agree with. We don't need to go over it right now. Maybe this could be offline, because it's gonna be a lot of talk about it, but my thing is, I agree over 90% with it, that we should implement basically what we can. I do have things highlighted that I can read off right now, but it's gonna take a little bit of time. If you guys want me to, I can do it.
I mean, we've got time.
Okay. So a lot of it's common sense, but start off, contractors recommend outdated training records be reviewed and a determination be made that is consistent with data retention schedules and whether those records should be maintained or destroyed. So the old records that we still have a bunch down at the Canine house and stuff, get rid of that stuff, or however the academy does it. I don't know. We put it in the basement until, I don't
Right
know.
now, everything you've brought over is in the basement, so according to our current record schedule, which we're in the process of revamping, but this training records has been redone and it's 6 years for training records. So anything beyond 6 years, still, if you can move everything over here so I can evaluate and then determine what happens next with them.
Okay, yeah, we can do that in with the next class on some downtime. We'll get a little bit of help. Written policy on rules for use of the Canine house to be established and posted at the facility. I like that. I'll start writing those up. It's not gonna be anything complex. Just some stuff like policing it, cleaning up after yourself, who can access narcotics or whatever. It's gonna be through the academy, but we can put together something that's could probably be pretty short, and post it there, and we can put it out to all the handlers. That's all I had on that. You guys just interrupt me if you want to add or subtract anything, or tell me I'm stupid or whatever. It's fine. Next thing I had highlighted, in-service training. There are not enough instructors throughout the state. I think I have a couple of people that now have come to me with some interest on it. Does anybody know off the top of their head, do our standards require that a new instructor goes through the committee, or it's just the head trainer, or what? I don't know off the top of my head. Anybody know?
I remember.
Okay. I had no problems bringing them up. Right now I have Logan Selza out of New Hampshire. He's interested. I fully back him. He went through my school already, 3 years ago or something, and they're talking about putting a dog through this next school so he could spend some time over here with the dog and being brought back up to speed. That's somebody that I have in mind. If you guys have people that you really think would do well, we could always use a couple instructors, Something. Skip some of this. So, I mean, some of this stuff we've already done. It talks about training, different training philosophies or whatever. We're already doing that. Let's see. The VPA should identify additional administrative assistance for the new trainer coordinator. I believe you guys brought somebody online, right, in service? Okay, that's covered. Develop and maintain detailed course content. You kind of have begun that. It's not finalized at this point. It's going to be a work in progress forever, I guess. But I think a lot of that, like Lindsay, you got all my info and everything. So we can start putting it together in the proper format that the academy is going to ultimately need. SOPs, that's something else. I'll start putting that together. If anybody has any thoughts on that and they want to, like, how we want to run the dogs, how we want to run trainings and stuff like that, let me know. But we could start putting that together as well. That shouldn't be that big of a deal. Also, like Mark, do you guys have SOPs for Canine at your PD or Jeremy?
Yeah. We do.
Yeah, if you guys want to provide me what you have, like, we could pull it all together and make it unique to here. That'd be great. I guess this is for you, Chris, on this next one. It's for all committee as well, but what's everybody's thoughts about having an interested chief law enforcement officer or other top executive with at least one Canine team certified by the VPA onto this committee? Members should not be a current or former handler. Or any thought, do we want that on the committee?
What's the rationale behind it?
I think, I mean, just somebody that's not part of the canoe club. I mean, that's always what everything's saying, that like, everybody always says, oh, Canine's the only one who knows or anything. You know, this could be somebody with an outside perspective on the committee. I go either way on this. Doesn't matter to me.
There's a transparency too.
Transparency.
Yep.
I don't think it's a bad idea for a couple of reasons. One, because I don't think there are a lot of agency heads that have any idea what their Canine team or program does, or the depth of the responsibility that they have by having such a team, or the requirements of the handler, that they're, you know, that the length of the standards that they have to meet in order to stay current. So for that reason, I think it's a good idea. I think it would be better suited for somebody that maybe your committee can identify as somebody who, one, has an interest in that, two, has the flexibility of their schedule to join these kind of meetings, so that they're committed to it. And then three, the other good piece of that is that that's an individual that could, whether it's a chief or a sheriff, could bring that information back to their associations and spread that word from not coming just from us here. I don't have any opposition to that. I think the best candidate is probably somebody that's identified by, you know, you folks. And maybe one of that is, you know, Rich, I think maybe if you've had some interaction with a new team or a new agency head where you've had to educate them on, you know, all that goes into this, that might be somebody that's worthwhile to look at if it's somebody that understands the complexities of it. And then you may not have somebody identified yet. I'm just suggesting it should be somebody that, while they can come in and certainly learn a lot, they've got to have some basis of knowledge about what the program is and what you're doing.
Okay. Okay.
Chris, you have somebody in mind?
I don't really, at this point. I kind of like the idea of it though, because I know we get caught up in our little bubble of Canine, and it's kind of nice to hear somebody from the outside say something. But I don't have anybody in mind right now.
I can put some feelers out. That's something we want to go through with.
Yeah, if somebody comes up with somebody, let me know. I'll also start thinking about it. Maybe identify somebody as well.
I can also, if you want, reach out to the Chiefs Association and just say, here's an idea that the Canine Subcommittee is looking to do to get somebody that's got an interest. Can they identify a chief within their organization that A, has the interest, B, has the time, and is willing to put in the commitment to sharing that information between your subcommittee and the agencies out there?
Okay, I actually like that better. That'll be better from you. Yeah,
Okay.
thanks. Almost done. I don't have many things. Most of it, if you guys read it, I'm in line with it, the assessment, so. Yeah, that's pretty much all I have on that. I'll probably start putting a list together or something, or we'll start implementing this over here at the academy. I'll go through with you, Chris, what we're doing. But I'm pretty aligned with everything.
So you'll have to forgive me, my mind is a little like a sieve today. So I'm not really prepared for this meeting because I just got off a conversation with somebody on the fair and partial policing policy to go over conflicts with that I have to go to a select board meeting tonight on a whole other issue. So one thing that I just, by looking at faces, Scott, you are retired now.
Yes,
Are you planning on staying on the committee for at least the year that you can?
I told Rich, I said, if you can find a replacement, I'm good with that. So,
Okay. Well, no, he can't, so you're it.
So we're looking at a couple of people right now. So we just voted on the one from Hartford. So it keeps our numbers okay. Jeremy, I think you're in the same boat as Scott. If we find a replacement for you, you're ready to go as well. My thoughts with you, Jeremy, I would like to keep somebody over in New Hampshire. I think out of your PD, Logan would be a good fit. Logan doesn't meet the requirements until the end of the year. So that's where we stand with that.
And that's what I was gonna ask. Did you go over with Lindsay, since she was here at the beginning, what the standards were for membership on the committee?
It's pretty much off the top of my head, 5 years as a handler. Doesn't even say in this program, but 5 years as a handler. So VSP has also mentioned about putting one of their people on it. I've been talking to two of their troopers a sergeant and a trooper who are the instructors under the VPA as well. I would welcome one of them, just to keep, they have the largest canine unit. I don't think that would hurt this program at all. Knowing both of them, they don't have the personalities that would hurt us or anything. So there's a couple of people out there. That's just in my little world here. I don't know if anybody else has been talking to folks around the state or not.
Well, if my memory serves me right from conversation with Lindsay earlier, I think you have a minimum of 5 members that you have to have on your committee
Yes.
and have to have 5 years of experience. They don't have to be a canine handler. They can be a former canine handler and can still stay on the committee as long as they come to so many trainings per year, I think it is. Lindsay's gonna correct me, I think.
Yeah, I was just gonna read through them.
8 hours of training a year, I think.
Yes, you have to have at least 2 training. So to make, if you're not an active canine handler, you have to attend at least 2 training days, 1 patrol and 1 detection per year. It can be basic or in service. If you leave law enforcement entirely, you can stay on for 1 year. If you fail to actively participate, you can be removed by a majority vote. If you miss 2 or more meetings and do not resign, you have to give an explanation and the committee can vote on whether to continue the membership. And 5 to 9 members. The executive director or designee serves as a member designated or designates the head trainer or senior committee member to preside for the purpose of conducting meetings. So I guess you would be the final say. Where did he go? Oh, there you are. The final say on the chair of this committee. And the executive director names members of the canine committee based on recommendations by seated members. And these members shall be individuals who are or have been part of a working canine team for a minimum of 5 years.
So
Kind of
everybody
jumped around there, but
right now fits that criteria in one fashion or the other.
Yes.
Okay. So we should formalize, even though Scott, I know with you it's a little bit different because you're now out, but at least your membership on this committee until such time as a new member comes on or you resign from it. So we'll get that. There should be a formalized letter from me just designating all of you as members of this canine subcommittee and who's the chair, who's the vice chair. Just so that if anybody asks where your authority comes from, it comes from the standards that you follow and you have authorization from me as the executive director to be members on this committee. And then if there's any new folks that you want to suggest to come on, let's just keep in mind that the bigger you get your crowd, the more people you have to have for a quorum to get together and do any of the work that needs to be done. So I'm not saying like you should keep it exclusive to you, but just keep that in mind when, you know, within the last years, how many times you couldn't get a quorum together for a meeting. So we don't want to have that happening.
One thing Lindsay just read off and it just clicked. Could we have a chief come on who didn't serve as a canine handler for 5 years? We cannot.
Right, because that that assessment occurred before the finalization of the standards. So they could be a non-voting member. We could have like as a informative to chiefs, maybe.
So they wouldn't be part of the 5 to 9 then,
Right.
or the forum? Okay. Okay. All right, that's not high priority right now, so. All right, that's all I have on that.
Annual meeting. We set a date for that?
What's that?
The annual meetings next on the agenda. Did we set a date for that?
Yeah, so we kind of just threw, I think, a date out in March. I'd like to actually switch that into April. We haven't put it out to any handlers, so I don't think it matters. I'd like to have the new school up and running so they can be part of it as well.
Yeah, I think we had it March 21st, what the date was.
Yeah, so if we can kick that out into April sometime, that'd be a preference of mine.
You have a date in mind? Rich?
What's that?
You have a date in mind in April?
I don't. Probably check with the academy because we're gonna have to be using most of the academy on that day, right? So
Yeah.
I could probably get with Lindsay or somebody and check the schedule here and maybe kick out an email to everybody, a date. I don't know. You guys good with April though?
Yeah, April's fine.
Yeah.
Did you mention a tentative date? I was pulling up the calendar as you said it.
No, not at this point, just
Okay,
tentative month.
tentative month. All right, got it. Yes, you can work with me.
Okay.
What, just because I haven't been involved with an annual meeting before, I know you use the outside facility, the canine house. How many like classrooms or whatnot do you need?
Yeah, usually we fit it all into, what's the classroom by the student entrance? Is that 1 or 3?
One.
1, we usually use that one. But then, yeah, pretty much all around outside, the woods,
Okay.
everywhere. Scenario building we usually use. Yeah, actually, if you want to just, I don't know if it's easier if you just give me a couple free days and then we'll throw something out. That'd probably be the
I can do that.
easiest.
Okay.
Okay.
Rich, do you want to
So-
help planning that?
What's that?
Do you want any help planning that?
Once we get the date, I could probably reach out. I'll reach out to you if you're interested. I'll send out an email to the committee members, whoever wants to. I think it'd be good for the new handlers going through that they can see what they're obviously going to be helping out. Yeah, it'll be good for committee members too.
We have to get together and talk about awards too then, before that meeting.
Yeah, that was another reason I tried to kick it out a little bit. I guess right now I don't really have any authority. I don't want to kick out any emails. Mark, if you want to, if you want to kick out an email to all the canine handlers and tell them to put something together. Yeah, thanks, Scott. Or our new chairman.
Used for that? Did we have like a form we sent to them to tally their stats and whatnot?
Dave used to, it was extremely confusing. I think if we just spell it out, basically, it's common sense. Give us a few of your good stuff. If you're a guy who did drug work all year, then okay, I'll look at all your drug stuff if you got 100 deployments on drugs. But I don't care if, like, I don't want to read an affidavit, so little summaries. What did you find?
Okay.
I mean, just common sense, just, actual finds of people, not the cops found them and you walked your dog up to them, stuff like that. You know what we're looking for, Mark.
Next, Vermont Police Canine Association. Rich, is that something you want to talk about?
So this was me too. So I learned recently that when I did inventory down at the canine house, I was upset with what I found. Everything was like, I don't know. I say from the 80s. I don't know if it's from the 80s, but everything was destroyed. There was nothing usable here hardly. And I later learned on that the Canine Association directed people to come down and remove everything. I get it that, Chris, this wasn't Academy gear. This was Canine Association. I understand that. But I was told that the new class, nobody was part of the Canine Association. Therefore, they weren't going to use that stuff. So I was a little perturbed to hear that. I don't know how much of that's true. But that was one thing that I got a little upset on that. So Mark, you're part of it. You're part of it, right? Yeah. So I don't know if you just talk to them and, hey, I think most of the new guys did pay their dues. They should have the same rights as everybody else who pays dues.
Yeah.
If there's some sort of resistance towards these teams, I prefer not to see that.
Emily.
And also Emily put out like a training seminar or something recently. Like, I don't think she should be putting those out as Canine Association. Maybe talk to me. Hey, is this something that we want to send dogs to? Instead of just having like brand new handlers jump on and possibly confusing the dogs from the training they're receiving here. So I think we can clear that up pretty quick with a conversation. That's all I had on that.
I think we already covered new instructors. That was the next.
Yeah, I just had Logan down for that. I think this next class, Lindsay, how many? Two PDs I put in so far. So Bennington and Lebanon I put in. Bennington is Morawski. Morawski has given me interest that he wants to be an instructor. I don't know him all that well. But I mean, he's going to be going through the school. It'd be a good time to look at him. We can revisit this in 4 months from now. But we are going to need new instructors for this to work. Like, where's it going to be next year if we don't start creating them? So if you guys have somebody strongly in mind that you think has interest and actually has the time, let me know. Like, we'll recruit them. Let's create a bench. That's all I have on that.
And next is public comment.
Yeah, I think maybe for me, just, I don't know, maybe Rich, you're somewhere in the facility here?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I got about a half an hour before I have to do something else. I would appreciate if we could have a conversation about whatever the issue is with it's not the Canine Association, but who is it that there was some consternation between? The Canine Association and who?
No, I don't think it'll be an issue. I think there was just a little misunderstanding out there. I think we just resolved it. Mark's part of the Canine Association, so I think Mark's going to take care of it right now. I just wanted the committee to realize what was going on a little when we came in and we didn't have gear to use for the patrol class. And I get it. Gear was not bought by the academy over the years. It was the Canine Association was supplying it. So I understand it. It was just, I I wasn't happy about it. I'll put it that way. So we
I
may
just- I
do,
think
and
we should have a conversation before any communication goes back out to them, simply because I don't know all the details. And some of that may have been, and I don't know this, but there was a lot of, like shirts and stuff down there that were being housed and sold or given away. I don't know how that process worked, but we were housing as a state entity, a
Yeah,
a
their inventory.
volunteer, but yeah, their material that they had purchased, and it wasn't ours to house. So I just want to make sure that I'm clear on the understanding between where the differences are, and however we straighten it out is with the best path moving forward for everybody to be working together, or if not, to understand where those differences are. That's all.
yeah, I think it's a nothing at this point. Mark's aware of what's going on. I think Mark will take care of it through the association side. Mark, Chris just brought up something that all that merchandise is still down there. So yeah, I guess we should, it's not in my way or anything, but yeah, I do understand how it shouldn't be down there.
That was one of the things in the assessment, and what you just said just reminded me the Canine Association address is still the academy. So mail is still coming for, like, mail and checks, donations, things like that are still coming here. So I don't know if there's a way to change the designated address for the association.
Wade LeBrecq, who's the president. We'll get something going
Okay,
and remedy that.
thank you.
Yeah, those are things I just want to think through before we just let's just change it and fix it, because we might
Sure, yeah.
create another hole down the road somewhere that I don't want to have to patch another hole for something. This is about mending relationships and trying to get people working together and not, on opposite sides. And, when I'm arguing in the legislature for a canine position, one of the last things I want is to have some other kind of conflict going on that I'm not aware of. And it's hard enough when, canine training isn't even mandated in this state. So I don't want to push things further out there that could become problematic for other folks. Just give me a day. That's it. That's all I'm asking.
That's all I have.
The end of my public comment.
We have a scheduled next meeting.
Do we need to do a monthly anymore now that standards are done? Can we move them back to quarterly, or should we? I don't know, just throwing it out there. It doesn't matter to me either way. I like having meetings. I like looking at all the holes.
If you are going to discuss further for the annual meeting, since it's a business discussion around the canine committee, you'd have to have another warned meeting regarding any discussions about what that was gonna look like. Maybe before the April date.
We want to do another meeting sometime mid-March.
Yeah, I guess so. What works for you guys? I'm retired, so it all works for me.
Everything works for me after the 15th. So the week of the 17th and 24th.
That actually gets painful for me. I'll be down picking out dogs in Pennsylvania that week.
Which week?
I'm actually 18th is our appointment. After the 18th, towards the end of the week, 2021 works for me. I'll be back.
Either that or the week of the 24th too.
Yeah, that's totally good with me.
You want to do the 24th, Monday?
Okay. Yep, that works for me.
What time?
Let's do a little earlier. You guys don't mind, like 1 o'clock maybe? Does that work?
Yep.
Unless I stay in Pennsylvania. All right, anybody got anything else?
I got nothing. Motion to adjourn?
Make a motion to adjourn?
A second.
Adjourned?
All right, see ya.
Good
You
seeing you
guys.
guys.
Thank you.
Take care.
Thank you.